There are sort of two different stories. The first one is of the Honeywell 316, which is a mini computer that was designed for sort of the mid-level user. And that was a very standard computer. One of the versions they made was a pedestal version, which had a little piece that looked sort of like a cutting board. Every year, Neiman Marcus does a Christmas edition. And in 1969, someone apparently saw the Honeywell 316 and said, you know what, that looks like a cutting board. Let's put it in the catalog as a kitchen computer. And the idea was that it was a way to store recipes, to balance the family checkbooks, this idea of the computer being used as a home work system. And of course, this is years before the idea of, a computer in the kitchen was even conceived of, honestly. And what happened sort of after that was it was put in the catalog. We don't think they sold any. So we're not sure, but when you could get a 2-week programming course, the apron that was featured in the catalog, and 2 Helen Corbett cookbooks. What you didn't get was you didn't get any I/O of any type, no teletype, no monitor, no nothing. So it's this idea that you would have a sort of an unapproachable machine unless you were an actual expert. So that 2-week programming course would have had to have been really, really good to get someone to actually be able to use it. But the idea of the kitchen computer is sort of gone on from there. This idea that, we need a computer for people to be able to store recipes and balance checkbooks. Well, as the model that they showed, you would have to know how individual codes for the machine code of itself, and enter it using panel switches. And so you would enter, say a location in the memory, then you would be able to display that location. So you had to be able to understand the general base level machine code. Now, what you could do, and what all of the folks who used it for business and research purposes did, was you would find a way to connect typically a teletype.
How were you able to read a recipe from the computer?
Well, that's the question. As it stands, you would have had to been reading each individual character in its binary output on the panel switches and lights. So you might, asparagus would start, you'd get the character for A, and then you would do advance, and you'd get the character for S, and then you would advance. So it would be slow and likely inaccurate and very difficult to do. Well, I think one of the things that people often forget about the kitchen computer is that it was a significant machine in the history of the internet. That the line that started with the 516 and the 316 and continued through is what the early architecture of what was called the IMPs, the Interface Message Processor, that led to the ARPANET, which led to all of the innovations we see in the internet. And that's really the key thing. While the kitchen computer aspect of it is neat and, you know, and fun and sort of the best demonstration of the folly of advertising I could think of, the actual machine itself was significant. And that's sort of an interesting little push and pull there. Well, there were sort of a couple of different phrases that were used that were very typical of advertising for technology at the time. The two classic ones is, if only she can cook as well as Honeywell can compute. But then later on in the ad, in the main text, was the phrase, and if she balks at balancing her lunch tab, she can program the kitchen computer to do it for her. And, you know, that's a very interesting thing to look at, is how the advertising of computing was very, very male-centric, to the point of being, you know, you could see it as anti-woman in a number of different ways. The idea of a computer in the house and even in the kitchen dates back in science fiction novels and all that, all the way back, as far as I can think, at least to the late 19th century. So it's unlikely that it was the first to be conceived of as a computer to use in the house, but it certainly was the first that was seriously advertised as such. Yeah, there we are. And there it is.
Yeah.
And there's the elephant and the tortoise. You can see.
Description. Now, appliances are the heart of any kitchen, and having smart appliances are even cooler. And what we've got right here, guys, are Samsung appliances that are absolutely game-changing. So we've got the Samsung Family Hub smart fridge over here. We've also got the double oven system over here. We've got the range, and we've also got the dishwasher. And what's great is that they all work together to create a very nice ecosystem.
Alexa, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon?
1 tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons.
Alexa, ask Geneva to preheat the oven to 350.
I've set your oven to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's quiet in the house. No one else is home and the cat is fast asleep. Then you hear a disembodied woman's voice let out a short, mocking cackle. No, you're not being haunted. It's just Amazon's Alexa voice assistant malfunctioning in a profoundly creepy way. Amazon says it's aware of the issue. It's working to fix it. The company did not say what's causing the problem or how many users are experiencing it. The speakers use always listening microphones to detect phrases like Alexa, and some people are concerned that they could be collecting additional data that could be used by marketers or even law enforcement. And for them, that is no laughing matter.
What is raining today? Water.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it answered.
What?
It said yeah.
You say yeah.
Yeah, it's her.
Oh my God. It's a woman?
Yeah.
I'm glad to meet
What
you.
is this thing?
Hello, Goo-Goo.
Hey, you're okay.
That's something from the
Google.
Alphabets.
You have to say, hey, Google, or okay.
Hey, Goo-Goo. Okay, Goo-Goo.
What's the
There you go.
weather?
Yeah.
What's the weather, ask?
What the weather? You want to know what is the weather?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
In Flagler Beach tomorrow, there will be showers with a high of 65 and a low of 56.
With this. It's a mystery.
Watch it there.
I'm scared. I'm scared. It's a mystery. Oh my gosh. No.
Ask Google to play an Italian song.
cuckoo. Hi, cuckoo.
The main idea of this work is that we produce audio samples, which sounds like a sentence A for humans, but like a completely different sentence for a speech recognition system. So actually it can be any arbitrary sentence. So the attacker can choose the sentence he wants to hide within the message. And also the main idea is that we hide the changes of the audio signals such that it won't be perceptible by humans. It can be, for example, an audio example which sounds like music for humans. And in this piece of music, there can be any arbitrary sentence. The attacker can actually choose the sentence, and it can be something like, if you have a smart home, for example, it can be something like to deactivate the security camera of the smart home, or probably also to lock or unlock a certain door. Whatever it is possible in our smart home setup and can be controlled via a speech recognition system.
Specifically, the union said it was proposing to purchase all of the assets of United Airlines, including planes, gates, facilities, and landing rights. Specifically, the union said it was proposing to purchase all of the assets of United Airlines, including planes, gates, facilities, and landing rights.
We wanted to show that it is indeed possible to have audio samples which sounds completely different for humans than for speech recognition systems, to improve the robustness of a speech recognition system such that such kind of attacks are not possible. I think there will be a lot more smart devices. There are already smart fridges and everything. So I think basically every electrical device in the kitchen will be connected to the internet somehow, and maybe they will also communicate to each other.
Hey Siri, call 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0.
This one has a trick that I've never seen on a trash can before, and this is voice activated. Check this out. Open can.
Right now, it'll show you, based on the color, just how hot it is. So the hotter you get it, you'll see the different colors. So you can set the temperature that you want right from inside of here. It's nice because you don't have to sit there and count down how long you've had a kettle on the stove. The dishwasher over here, this is actually kind of cool. It's just a dishwasher, but when it's done
129 Fahrenheit for medium rare New York steak. When jewel reaches 129 Fahrenheit, drop it sweetly in the water.
Device. When you're making a smoothie, the smart sensor sends nutritional information in real time for every ingredient, so you can see the calories, fat, carbs, protein, and more that go into every smoothie.